Alright, so it's been about a day since Bond came out, and I spent a bunch of time testing him, and I think generally he is a unit that most people I could say would skip. He is our meta physical DPS dealer, but like it's always okay to be missing out on one or two meta DPSs, so like we could miss Clotho on win because alright, that was loud. Because every single sector boss always has two elements, so there's always another option, and I think it'd be fine to be missing out on something like wind and physical, like Clotho, for example. He does do very good DPS, but based on the leaderboards, as you can see, Dairy is basically neck and neck with him right now. Well, my Dairy at least. No one else seems to have really tried her, besides MX. But you know, there's always another alternative. But that's just strictly speaking about his nunchuck. His Earth DPS seems to be a little bit better than Diane. If you already have Diane P10, then I guess you can just ignore this as well. And when it comes to gauntlets, the meta support, it's actually very, very confusing. So for example, most people would assume this is your team, right? But this team barely makes 5 orbs with the hem set. I'm pretty sure they expect you to have it at plus 10. If we click rate info here, we can look at the plus 10 and you can see that it gives us 10% more magic. So the devs clearly know that magic is a big issue with this team, but I don't think that 10% is making the difference that it needs to, regardless. I even have this insane magic necklace and it really is hardly enough. Also, my outfit is insane for her. It's like basically a god roll in my opinion. It's debuff and magic at a very high level. Level 3 and 130. With the necklace, and it still feels pretty bad to make the magic. And also another big issue is when you use his outfit, you have to use a combined attack on Bon for this outfit to work. So if you want the 50% darkness damage and you want the darkness weakness, then you have to combo out on Bon. Which means you can no longer use Black Flame because MELI isn't doing the burst anymore. The reason MELI used to do the burst is because he would turn like a lightning burst into darkness, and the game would count that as MELI bursting, or you would just combo ult on MELI, and that also counts as bursting. But since we're combo ulting on Bon, he is the one doing the burst, so we can't even use Black Flame anymore. So I had to blow the dust off of the Glutton and try it out. But anyway, let's just go into the training grounds and see. Another thing is you're going to have to go up and just first strike everything with your hands. I believe you want to save some skills for his snatch. You also don't get any tag at all for Meliodas' raid set. So we'll do the snatch here, and then we'll swap. Now, it's still a lot of damage, but like, you have to wait for a bunch of cooldowns and stuff. So eventually you reach a point where everything's on cooldown and you still don't have enough magic, so you have to just stand here and do normal attacks. It is very, very inconvenient. We can get 6, 7, 8, 9. We can get 9 entire E's off on MELI with Bond. So of course he still is good. Alright, of course we're going to test the new team against Jensen and MONSPEET. I've already tried this in my own time and it's pretty bad since he knocks you over with pretty much every move. But I'll just show it off for video. Do our Q and our E. And he already knocked us out of the animation, so we have to try again. So that's another big issue with this guy. He drains your magic every time he hits you. So getting the 5 orbs requires you to basically not get hit at all. Which is like, it's asking for a lot. We basically need to build up one tag first so that we can tag on MELI. So we'll tag once, go to Dairy, back up. Wait for our tag. Swap to Liz, EQ, swap to Bond, do our combo ult. Now we're gonna Q, E. Alright, the tag's frozen. We don't have a tag gauge yet. Alright, now we're gonna swap to MELI. And we're gonna miss. And that's basically what this is gonna look like when you use this team. you miss a single thing, you're not going to have your E and you're useless. You spend forever ramping up the tag gauge. If everything goes right, maybe you'll kill him, but I don't know. It's just not worth your time when the other team is so much easier. This team just doesn't make the tag you need quick enough, and it also just doesn't make the magic you need, especially if the enemy you're fighting drains your magic. So let's just go to the standard team that we always use, Daisy go through. And with this team, we'll just have a much easier time. I don't know if we'll kill him, but at least it won't suck to do it. Alright, we'll do the combo ult. Q, E, swap. Make our magic. Alright, do this. Yeah, we'll definitely kill him. So this rotation I'm going to do is going to be slightly hard on the magic, but it should kill him if I do everything right. As you can see, we're very, very, very close to killing him. We'll kill him with this. And that's on Transcendent. 29 seconds, as you can see. Two things that'll make this very easy. Getting a plus 10 melee armor. Getting a plus 10 go through armor. I believe you can get like 15% crit damage at plus 10 melee armor. And you get 3 more seconds of go through ult at plus 10 go through. So it'll make this whole setup extremely easy. But anyway, I just wanted to show off MELI's performance against the new boss. He still isn't dead, but it does need some work. If your sole focus is pushing MELI, then I'd get MELI to plus 10 and then go through to plus 10. But I'm going to do some other tests on other bosses as well. Let's just test it on Twigo since that's a good reference for me. Alright, so I just swapped my setup to have as much magic as humanly possible. I have the magic pants on, 2-set him. We're not using Gala Ring on him because we do ult on him. We still do need a 3-set him on, so that's on my Dairy. And Liz has 125 hem earrings for the most magic possible, and a Gila ring for the most magic possible. I guess you could use a 160 magic necklace, but I don't have one of those. And like I said earlier, the plus 10 would give you another 10% on bond. So this team does do very good damage, but usually you use a go through ult. And hitting a frozen enemy is usually very easy, because you don't risk getting knocked over. If you do this entire setup, and then just get stunned out of melee Z, it's all for nothing. So let's go in here and do what we normally do. We'll do this. Swap, Q, E, get the tag, E, Q, swap to bond, combo ult. Do the E, make sure the final hit hits. Swap. His darkness didn't even get frozen. I don't know why. Let's try that one more time. We'll just save both of Bond's skills for after the burst, if that's even possible. We don't make the tag now if we do that. Okay. E, Q, Bond, combo ult. Q, E. Alright, we froze the burst. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe we're supposed to build some stacks up on him as well. So let's just try that again. Do the combo ult. It didn't get frozen again. Yeah, I don't know. Even with all of my debuffs fully maxed out, Breach, Darkness Defense, everything Bond provides, Snatch, and his armor outfit, like, it's just so much more effort compared to the other team that everyone uses, where you get Daisy and a go through ult. So you make like infinite magic and tag, and you can just freeze the enemy. And then you're not forced to use Glutton, which is very nice for a lot of people. And also on go through, we do have a new way for P6 go throughs to be meta. I actually can't show you right now because for some reason the info tab goes away when you have it +5. But once you get go through's armor at +10, you get 33% more debuff duration. So that would put someone like me at like 104%, which is basically the same as the P10. So you'd get 3 extra seconds out of your go through ult. So mine would be like 16 seconds and yours would probably be like 13. So you'd basically get the same time as a P10 used to, if that makes sense to you guys. Alright, so let's just use this team how we used to. So we make all of our magic. Swap to MELI once. Swap to Liz. Swap to Daisy. Do the combo ult. And make enough magic for go through. Do the ult. Swap to MELI, and then we just absolutely destroy him. I think if I hit all crits, I do kill him. I don't remember. But as you can see, much simpler and more damage compared to Bon and Derry. I don't really understand why. I guess the Bon Derry is a bit more free to play. For this team to work, you do need a P7 Daisy and a P6 go through now, I believe. So I guess this team is kind of well locked in a way. But even still, the Derry Bon team just doesn't work how you would expect it to. I'll just try it against a random spider boss without any pledges on. Make sure to hit it with all of our debuffs. We're gonna swap to Bon, do a combo ult, hit him with the Q, hit him with the E. It didn't freeze him again. Yeah, it does do really good damage. This is Abyss. That was one spider, we 3E'd. But first of all, the darkness meter is not getting frozen like half of the time. You're supposed to do a combo ult and then do an E and let the final hit of the E hit. The part where he like pulls in the energy. But it's still not working. That's probably a bug. So that part alone makes Bon pretty bad if his main mechanic doesn't even work. Oh, and you can't even use this team because you don't have any fire or lightning. So I guess it doesn't really matter in the spider dungeon. Let's just try it against Valenti real quick. We're supposed to build up some sort of stacks on him, so I'll just do that. We have 10 already. So maybe that's why my snatch wasn't working. Nope, still doesn't work. And we can't fully ramp the raid set as well, like I mentioned previously. Unless we spend even more time generating tag. Let me reread his ult just one more time. So, when you use a combo ult on Bond, it enhances the normal skill for 10 seconds. The enhanced normal skill inflicts damage, and its final strike freezes the enemy's darkness burst. But that isn't happening. I'm going to try to do Blue Crown DPS, even though it's going to take forever. To make the tag that we need, at least. Alright, so we'll tag to MELI, swap to Derry, Q, E, tag to Liz, E, Q, tag to MELI, then go to Bon, combo ult, do our Q, do our E, froze the burst, we have Blue Crown up. Alright, and now we absolutely destroyed her. So, it does do extremely good damage, but it takes so long to make it happen. Well, that's basically like my main issue with the team. I don't know who they expected your 4th unit to be. Maybe Daisy. It needs to be somebody that makes a bunch of magic and tag gauge. And that person isn't Liz. But then you don't have a healer. I definitely would have died there if I didn't bring Liz. Because I'm just standing there punching the boss trying to make tag gauge. But it does provide results if you take it slow and make sure all of your buffs are up at once. Bond Snatch, I really don't know why it's so inconsistent and not working sometimes. But anyways, I'm going to quickly just show off Physical Bond against Transcendent MONSPEET. So as you can see, he does it in about 19 seconds, but you need a plus 14 armor and a plus 10 Liz armor. And I don't know if I've told you guys, but I forgot to really explain this properly, but you need an entire lifetime amount of XP to hit level 15. This is 3.8 million XP. There is nobody in the universe with that much XP. I could sell my entire inventory and it would probably only be like 800k XP. Just getting this to plus 14 took me about 8,000 keys. I still have a couple keys left, but it basically wiped out all of my gold and XP. Once you get to the plus 14, you have a 30% chance of success in order to unlock the bonus perk here. It's 2.5 million gold per attempt and like 12 of the fragment things. Basically I failed like 7 times, so that was like that was like 15 million of the gold that I have saved up completely wasted there. This is like a super in-game, like you'll probably get one of those plus 14 a month if you're lucky. The smart choice seems to just get a bunch of your units plus 5 and plus 10, and then only get a DPS plus 14. I only got my Liz plus 10 for the extra defense because I am P10. If you're not P10, she doesn't really matter. I would get Gother's book outfit plus 10 like basically ASAP. This is one of the most important things you could have for solo play. Only if your Gother is P6. You absolutely need the magic he has at P6. If he is P6 though, I'd go ahead and grab the extra 3 seconds on your ult at plus 10. Daisy's doesn't seem to really be that worth it. MELI's obviously is very good, but I just wasn't convinced that that's the team I wanted to stick with, because I'd basically be forced to use MELI for quite a while at that point if I got him plus 14. I am much more happier sticking with Derry with the Daisy and Gother setup. 1, because the boss literally doesn't move, and 2, because I only need 8 orbs instead of 10 that MELI needs. So it's just a very comfortable setup for me. I probably won't be showing off the Earth setup in this, because I don't have anything rolled for Earth at the moment with a Greatsword. I think the new Earth team is King on book with this new outfit, and Earth Elizabeth, and maybe like, I don't know, Daisy or somebody. Like somebody who makes magic, maybe Gother. Yeah, actually, I'd probably use Earth Liz, Gother ult, and King Book maybe, and then just do massive DPS with this Greatsword. Anyways, I'll just show off P10 Bond against Transcendent MONSPEET. We do have a decent armor. You're looking for crit damage, attack, ultimate, and special. We have ultimate and special here, so that's actually really good. Crit damage ring. My weapon is also really good. We have crit damage, ultimate, and physical attack. You're looking for crit damage, ultimate, special, physical attack, and physical damage. Any of those 5 rolls together. Sorry for all the yapping, but I just needed to explain some of those things. So I think with my current setup at like plus 5 Bond outfit, I can get like a 21 second, maybe 22. Once you get this plus 15, you can get anywhere from like 18 to 19 seconds, maybe even better. This is only day 1. So we're going to go in and do what we normally do with every other team. We're just going to ramp our raid set, do our Gother ult, Q, Q, E, swap, Q, E, ult. Ult's going to do a bunch of damage. We're going to spam Qs, do a normal, spam Qs, do a normal, spam Qs, do a normal. That's pretty much it. So I'm going to do that one more time, but I'm going to try to do it a bit faster. Just so I can show you a good time and not explain it. Alright. So instead of 25, that's 21 when I just go as fast as I can. It'd put me somewhere around rank 5 to rank 10. But yeah, he's the metaphysical DPS, so if you somehow skipped a meta darkness or something like that, ideally you want one of each element meta DPS, so if you pick up a Bond, you can get a meta earth and a meta physical DPS. You can have MELI or Derry for dark. You can have Escanor for fire. You have Merlin for lightning and ice. And I'd recommend most people just ignore wind as a whole, because your choices are Clotho or Elaine, and nobody wants to do all that. You're just investing in a dead unit that doesn't really have any use outside of their element. You can use Fire Escanor in a lot of places now. You can use Melian everywhere. You can use Dark Dairy everywhere. You can probably use Physical Bond everywhere. But Wind, they are only good in wind-weak content. They are pretty much garbage on neutral or resistant content. Yeah, I think that's about it for the Bond video. In my opinion, if you're free to play, I would only consider grabbing him if you crutch MELI and you do not have a P6 Gother. If your Gother isn't P6 and your Daisy isn't P7, it's going to be very hard to use that other team I showed, where I used Daisy, Gother, MELI, and Liz. So if you really like MELI and he's your only crutch character, then I would use the MELI, Derry, Bond, Liz team, or something like that, something very similar. Because as you can see, once you ramp everything up, it actually does really good damage. Even if it's very inconvenient to do, it's not terrible. But if you've saved a bunch of summons, I mean, it wouldn't kill you to pick up a copy just so you can have another meta Earth and a meta physical DPS. He's a very solid unit, but he's also very skippable. I still think Dari is a way better universal DPS dealer. She makes Escanor absolutely insane. Like, you basically need her for Escanor to be great again. The Dark is very nice. I can use this with melee whenever I want. Obviously, his Gauntlet can do everything in the game solo, so it's just absolutely amazing to use for me. I really like having that one unit that can do everything amazing. Melee used to be that unit, and then it was Merlin, and now for me it's Dari. Obviously, if you don't spend money, you can only stick with one of those, and you need to save everything for that one moment. So if you didn't blow everything on Melee, you didn't blow everything on Merlin, then you should have used it all on Dari, or you just gotta wait. We do have those 3 reruns coming up. I would highly recommend most people try to get a high potential Liz. Liz is definitely gonna win. She's the most useful unit in the game. She is always in my 4th slot in every single team I use. She gives so much damage at P10, she does everything for you, keeps you alive. Without a doubt, the best support unit. But I could say the exact same thing for Daisy. If Daisy comes back, try to get her P7, and if Liz comes back, try to get her P10. Obviously, a P10 Liz is much better than a P7 Daisy. If both win the vote, then I would recommend just assess what summons you have. If it's impossible to get P10 Liz, then go ahead and get Daisy P7 first, and then get Liz as high as you can. If you're just starting the game, since this is a half annie meant for new players, Elizabeth, Daisy, and MELI will not do you wrong at all. Yeah, that's about it for the video. I'll probably be covering Knighthood very soon, since we have a lot of new metas to show off, and I just haven't fully covered how much work we put into it. And I'll probably make 1 or 2 more videos, just basically going over the rest of the update. Let me use these real quick, maybe I'll get lucky. Nope. Yeah, I think that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. Peace.